Hi, Pastor Daphne. Good morning. Pastor Daphne? Pastor Daphne?
Yes, good morning. It's nice to hear from you. Yeah. So it says in that passage, and it came to pass when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai, listen, said unto Absalom, God saved the king and God saved the king. And Absalom said to Hushai, is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with your friend? You know how we have friends and kindness goes up and down, you know? Are you being kind to your friend? Is your friend being kind to you? How are you looking at friendship? How are we looking at relationships? You know, kindness is something that we all should be able to exercise because God was kind enough to want to create and bring us to pass. And here we are. Here am I. How kind are you? There's a gentleman who needs urgent surgery that Brother John spoke of. And he was asking people to go and have breakfast so that they will collect money for his surgery. Are you kind? I have a few Native friends. Well, I have quite a few, but a few of them I'm in touch with quite often. And she's having surgery any day now. Then another friend that I worked with in disability called me to let me know on Wednesday she's having surgery. So pray for her. And, you know, knee surgery is not an easy surgery, okay? Because when you do get knee surgery, so keep your feet moving and try to keep your feet out of those slippers and shoes in the house and walk on the plain ground so your feet will stretch itself out and not have to bounce back and do things to you, you know? And she's going to have it on both knees, but I don't think it's at the same time. Hopefully not, because I know from hearing from Leno, she had surgery on her knees, both of them, and you can't drive anymore unless you get one of those robot cars. You can't climb steps as fast as you want to. If the building's on fire, how do you get out? It's one step at a time. And it's not going this way. You got to go this way with the feet, so the feet will find a space to come back in. So when God has given us this body of his that he nurtured, because he made it to his perfection, he put you in the womb, and whatever happens while during labor and all these other things, you know, has a lot to do with what's happening in the body. So how are we looking into kindness? Because all these people need help. After surgery, you need help. You're helpless. I traveled to San Diego to a convention with a friend who wanted to, she's been offered prayer by the team in San Diego, so she wanted to go. She follows that ministry. And it was a joyful one, because when you have Christ in you, you're able to make all things under his name come to pass the way he wants it, you know, and she has been healed. So kindness is important. How do you give your time? Those of us who are on Gem FM, we're giving our time because we like the idea of letting people know what's out there. So therefore we give our time. So that's wonderful and blessed it is. But there's nothing to boast about, because you're doing service unto God, to man and mankind. So give thanks for the opportunities that he has placed you in, because it's in service unto Christ. Kindness. How do you evaluate kindness? Today, the word for kindness in the Hashem, unveiling the mystery of God's names and titles, it speaks about, and anything that's in the atmosphere as I'm speaking that is not a God, scatter in Jesus' name. Anything that's passing in the atmosphere, come against it with the blood of the Lamb, God of Israel. Yep. Go in peace and serve God. Bow down to the Most High. So it says it's a high and lofty one. YHVH, Yahweh. High and lofty one. He is, for thus says the high and lofty one, who inhabits eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him who has a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. And that is found in Isaiah 57 and it's verse 15. And it goes on to tell you about, the one who is the most high doesn't dwell in the heaven. He has chosen to dwell with those who are humble and contrite in spirit. He dwells, where is he? He's inside of you. His spirit dwells in you. So keep that in mind. It's not always in the heavens. He's with you. He goes with you. He sees what you do. He knows what you say that you do that you don't do. He knows what you do and you say that you did do. And so it's so or it's not so. So he's a high and lofty one. He knows all, sees all. He's around each and every one of us 24/7 because he has given us that covenant of the Holy Spirit within us so that we can dwell with him on high. So as we go through today, let's talk about kindness. I hope many of you have made it your duty to add $1 even for the children or teenagers. They spend more than $1. Put something in the covers for our African refugees that are here. They are at Pastor James's church, Revival Time Tabernacle on it's on Dufferin Street. These are our people. We have to be there for them in spirit and in truth. We have to come out and show that we do care one for the other. Because you remember, we have been an enslaved people, and they have taken from us that bond. Even though we stay together, we know how to stay together, but they've taken that bond of, we are more selfish than giving. So let us roll with the tide and know what kindness is all about. Collect some clothes, put a few dollars in an envelope, do just that. But the John's been talking about it. I've been hearing it on the news. But my whole thing about kindness is, how is the government? This is why I see the government is made up of many people with different mentalities. And some of them care for refugees and some don't, but they all forget that they're all refugees. Because they seek refuge, whether it's to move to this country or to run from theirs to this country. They seek refuge in Canada because Canada's nations are the indigenous peoples. North America, all over North America and South America and the Caribbean. So when you know who the land is indigenous to, then you understand what it's all about, all the way down to the Caribbean. The first set of people that came from Europe into Canada, they came with a young guide, young Black explorer into Quebec. So Canada is not a white country, as we say. It's a native country. It's an indigenous country. It's not a European type country, but we have a lot of us here. And many of us get into this country and we dog the government. We dog things that are being said and done. But you know what? And there are many places that people don't even get a stipend of anything. Now they're doing it in the Caribbean, which is really awesome for all of those who have traveled and went back and used their skills or get on boards and stuff to talk about, what can be done. So governments can spend their money as it is collected for the people, and the country to raise the level, of your country, so that others will come down, enjoy. Tourism gives you money. So many other places you have we have all the crops that can be grown. Agriculture is so important, innovations and stuff like that. Having a car plant, all these negotiations are things that one can do when you get into government office. Not just sit there, but do things that will enhance your country. And it's not you, but it was the opportunity that the people voted in for you to allow you to do it for them. So you see, it's a circle. It goes in and it comes around. So you vote for me, I have to do this for you. I have to spend my time. And that's how it is. You see the wisdom of kindness, because it is a kind gesture to give back, to serve beyond your work years, you know, because if you can, fine. If you can't, that's fine too. That's how it goes. So I go at all sides of the coin and look into what's taking place in this world. Minister Moore forgot her phone, so she had to get a chip. I don't know if she's on this morning, but if she's not, I will man the ship, the Good Ship Community Dateline, to its 11:30 hour. So how are we going out there in terms of kindness? Oh, by the way, you're kind to someone. When last you called some of the elderly people in the church who no longer show up? Seniors, see how they're doing. Are they okay? You know, well, you guys see me. You can call me if you have my number. You can find me. I know other people have been trying to find me on social media, but I'll tell you something with social media. It takes my time, too much of my time. I want to spend my time doing the things that I love. While I'm getting everybody sending things to me, I appreciate it all. I also have things I have to do for the boards and the committees that I am part of. Hopping there, help them there, you know. See what's next. And everybody have social media platforms. You could go from A to Z and there's a platform. We have our own personal pages. And if we spend, you know, you would never get a chance to sit and read the Bible or read a book if you spend all your time figuring, unless you go from meeting to meeting. I have times when I go from meeting to meeting, so I'm online. I double back, check back to see if anybody call me. Sometimes I see the message, even Brother John. Sometimes he sends me something, I don't see it. I either I'm either reading or talking to somebody else. And so by the time I get back and says, I have to send a message. I just saw this, you know, because it's not, you know, we just don't have one or two friends. We have a lot of connections as people that are very much into the public and into community. The church brings us into the whole nation's atmosphere because we are to go out there and make disciples, bring people in this last dispensation, you know. So I pray to you today is, and I'm going to say, pray it off to you, that the Lord anoints you to pray with the power and delegated authority that you have, that He has given you, okay, and to remove every limitation and hindrance that tries to prevent you from fulfilling the holy calling of interceding before God's throne. So that's my prayer declaration, you know. You see, Satan knows that he doesn't have the power. But you know what he does? He behaves. You know, it's like, you see the young men in the streets that are not behaving very well. And many of them are of African descent. I'm going to say something that may cause a lot of you to get upset when this program is replayed. But most of our African descent children that feel entitled don't realize the entitlement comes with something. You got to make sure that you get yourself illiterate and educated. Okay, it's never too late to learn to read. It's never too late to learn a trade. It's never too late to do something with your life. But a lot of them, you look at the easy road. So whoever taught you about the easy road, I hope and pray it's not an adult that guided you all into the wrong lane, because may God have mercy on them. But you out there who are out there doing nonsense, stop doing the foolishness you do and do something with your life. Stop wasting your time, because time waits on no man. Okay? Stop wasting the life that God lives in. It seems to be very long. But just the other day, I was 18, I was 13. It wasn't long ago. Just a few decades back. We're not living to 9,000 years as yet. We haven't gotten the 1,000 years would be like a year. Okay? So we're on a different timeline with God, and therefore we must take this time and utilize it wisely. Many of you have so much talent, but you would not go and get that, what do you call it, your grade 12, your graduation diploma. You have one subject to finish it. You wouldn't do it. You have one paper to stick hand in. You wouldn't do it. Why? So that you can work hard and say, oh, I work hard. No, you have to work smart. Use your smart. That's why I say kudos. Kudos to all of you who have taken your education seriously and done something with it. Because you can't just run, you can't walk this earth. Jesus took time off to go in the mountains, see nature, look at the trees, the birds, talk to God. And he get his restoration, renewed strength to continue. What are you looking for? New strength for? To do evil? No. Especially in the church body. If you have grandsons and nephews and all of them that are doing nonsense, please don't be ashamed to ask them to pray for your grandchildren. Because in your absence and when you're not there, you don't know what they do. So please pray for my children, my grandchildren, and their children, and their children's children to the 4th generation. Please pray for them. Don't forget, because I'm praying for your children and your grand in the same light. I don't want to know what they do. I just want to pray for them. Pray for creation. Pray for those who know God and those who don't know God. Stronger relationship. And those with no relationship, that they get, their eyes are open and they can understand. That's the wisdom of kindness. Kindness in showing what God has given to you. Showed you the rules, the roots of kindness, what to do with it. You spread it abroad. You know, I'm retired, but if I get the board send me text and say, I have a quick survey. Could you get it? Could you do it and send it back? We want the next quarter of the year to go well. Do you think I'm going to say I'm retired? I know the importance of people getting what they want. So when God is putting you in places where you are able to understand how things work, I always go back to one thing. When Jesus was heading into town, it was a time of taxes, Caesar. And guess what? He ensured that he paid his taxes. Because he is the God of creation. He respects creation, in every single form and manner. He's not going to say, well, my name is Jesus and I don't have to do that. Guess what? None of us name Jesus. We may name our children Jesus and Messiah and all these kind of things like my grandson. But We are part of him. We have to live that life according to him. So we pay our taxes. And when you learn how governments run and you're asked to participate and you do participate, you cannot turn your back. It's highly unlikely that you will ever turn your back, because you will get involved because you know that you cause your voice to be heard, you make input so that they can make good decisions and give back. For instance, I always figure that it will be nice to have the right amount of money for your children so parents can really work and not worry about spending and not have a dollar left in their pocket or pocketbooks or the bank accounts. But when you understand those things, you will get involved and do the things that are right. So that's where I come from, that corner of the world. I am in the world, but not of the world, because I understand what the Father meant. Because when he said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is his, I say amen to that. So, you know, I take my time and do the things that I do because I know the benefits. Even though people, you know, that when they give you $5, it may not cover everything, but if you didn't have that $5, you couldn't buy that extra carrot, right? You couldn't buy that extra bag because it would have taken $4 more and change. But that extra $5 helps you to go. You're doing. So that's how it goes. So let us understand who God is, what he does, how he does it, and follow by example. And that's why I'm coming back to you children out there. A lot of you have finished school. A lot of you have finished school a few years time, and you don't have a trade. You don't have a nothing. You don't have a car of your own. You don't have the things that would take you to do the next, to get you to the next step. It is time that you all get together and as a group of people and your children, if you have children or families with children with issues, let them get together and decide for themselves what they want to get done. Because there are lots of programs that can involve a lot of kids that have been in the prison pipelines. There are things they can do beyond the prison pipeline. But if you want to keep it a secret, it will always be a secret until we hear it on the news. You need to get out there and say, look, I have some wayward children and I need help with them. Okay? Really. I have some wayward children. And because personally, when I see them doing the things that they're not supposed to do, I pull them up. I say, hey, and I don't do it angrily. I do it in love. You know, I say, hey, son, come here. Daughter, you don't need to have the navel outside. You're too young for that. It's not the time. Okay? Yeah, you haven't even graduated, but you want to, the parents put them in little things with their navels outside, so they grow up wanting to have their navels outside. But there's a time when the kids start reaching the age of common sense, you know, going towards the 9, 8, 9, 10, you start dressing them, remind them to cover themselves. It's important because guess what? Modesty is still a great quality in life. It always will be. Okay. And it's all right. Because when you go on the beach, you got to wear a bathing suit. When you go on picnics and what you wear, but still have a little covering because there are times you wish you had a cover. So for grown-ups like myself, I walk with a scarf. If my shoulders are going to be out at some point in time, I might have the need to cover myself. And for instance, you know, I'm being kind to who I am and my spirit and what God wants me to do. So I follow his innovations. I follow his nudgings, his teachings, you know, and no human being that is God that I know. There's no other. So I know who I follow. And that's important. Yeah. So today, I'll take a break from talking about kindness, and we talk about in depth. The rest of the morning, we'll talk more about kindness in the sense that what we need to do. Because kindness is a wisdom, an understanding. Kindness is something that nobody has to tell you. The Spirit of God teaches you. You're observant. You know when to do something without saying something, without asking a question. That's how you want to be kind. So for those who are celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday. Those who have anniversaries today, happy anniversary. And those who are in hospitals and surgeries, I pray that the Holy Spirit will reach out to you, and you will have that, because the Holy Spirit is already in you, and that you reach out to what's unknown to you in the spiritual realm, so that the Lord himself will come down and touch you. I know the big thing nowadays is everything is mentalness. We've been going mental from the day we were born, having to fight to come out of the womb. That's a little trauma in itself. But it's all part of growing up. You know, we become sensitive nowadays. We're sensitive to everything. Oh, this is this. Well, let me say, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. God will strengthen us individually, and he will strengthen us collectively. Okay? So find strength. And for those who are this morning going through periods of solace and condolences and losing loved ones, I sympathize with you and pray for you that you'll have strength from Mount Zion. To that Muslim brother, I don't know if he's in Canada or in the United States, but his son, he lost his son. The son was such a very quiet young man. I don't know the circumstances, but I know he sent something to me to ask for prayer. So, like I said, Muslim is a religion, but as another human being for another human being, I've lifted you up in prayer, and I lift you up again for all the prayer warriors who are online, or who are online and talking to another prayer warrior. You know, if you came on and you bump off, please tell them to pray for those who have lost their loved ones today, those who are attending funerals of their families today, those who are on the oceans, those who are flying out, those who are at the cottage, those who are on the beach in Caribbean Islands, those who are traveling east to west and north to south on this earth, in different places. Keep them in your prayer, because prayer is the key. It is the key. It's God's source. Don't say, so-and-so pray for me. Just say, Lord, remember me in mercy. But so-and-so will pray for you, okay? Whomever. Oh dear. I don't know if you're hearing it from your side of the world, but here I can hear the thunder. Master is at his work. Yes, Father. And his will be done. So today, for all those of our brothers and sisters up at our late Pastor James' Revival Town Assembly, his daughters are there, and daughter-in-law and son-in-laws are there. taking every single one of the refugees that were dumped downtown Toronto in front of a shelter. How shameless to our provincial governments. How shameless and how shameful to the premiers and the councillors and the members of parliament and the members of provincial parliament. How could you do such a thing? God made us all human beings. Don't let the enslavement of my people cause you all to sin your souls and lose your grace with God. Do what is right. Because while it's taking place, my God is watching. He's everywhere. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. He's seen all of that already. Thought of that makes me dizzy. Woo. It's a lot to fathom. 10,000 times. That will evaporate you and I like nothing. Hey, Brother John.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you, man.
Nice. I am happy.
Looking great.
Yes, thank you. I'm just coming back in here. I just heard you talking about the refugee thing, and I had to come in. I sent you an invitation for Saturday morning too, but I think I probably got it late.
Oh gosh.
And
You know what? But Brother John, for the last week, we had so many things to clear up because remember they just had given the children their child tax credit. So, with seniors out there who've been working and can give back in terms of, their counseling, their ideas, the discussion, it keeps you quite busy, And of course, I keep getting surveys. So unfortunately, I fell asleep and I probably got up later than I thought I would be. So my apologies, but let us talk about this because we do have enough time. We have 16 minutes that we can really.
I could probably be an extra 10 minutes. That's okay.
Well, I'll take your 10 and I'll finish the rest.
I'm really disappointed, not only with government, and with no apologies, I say it was a racist attitude towards Black people. I thought that the Ukrainian came in, the Syrians came in, they got housing, they got jobs, they got medical, everything was done, everything was prompt and proper. And there you go on the street of Toronto, you have my African brothers and sisters coming and they couldn't get in the shelter. Now,
in front of a shelter and leave them in front of a shelter that was actually closed.
Yes.
They know a lot of them are working from home. So why would you do such a wicked thing? May God have mercy on them.
Not only that, I was not happy with the fact that we have, when I saw 3 weeks later, Jean Augustine, among others, came out late to go downtown to talk about when somebody else already took up the mantle. And the guy said, it is inhumane. Let me house those people. Let me make preparation.
Oh, yes, Mr. Fatia.
Right.
That's the guy who put out his funds. He put out $2,000 or something dollars. Yes.
Lead and did that. And all of this time, our so-called Black councillors was nowhere to be found. The Lindsay Hunter, calling the names, Lindsay Hunter and the former chief of police who was campaigning for mayor. They were nowhere to be found. And these are the same people who try to say they're working for the people of Toronto.
You see, we need to address something. As an African race of people, we need to stop saying I'm from Jamaica and I'm from Trinidad and I'm from there. We are all Africans, whether we are on the continent or we're left here across here. We are descendants of
that's my point.
Our ancestors who were brought over here forcefully. We didn't come here because we wanted to come. It was forceful.
Yes.
Everybody else got reparations.
But that being said, the crisis at hand needed to have our black leadership on the
Of
front,
course,
and
of
they were on
course.
the front line. They stayed where they was campaigning just a month ago in front. 100 and something of them, or other that, or 40 of them was black leaders, right?
All right.
For the mayor job. When
Yep.
the crisis came up, none of them showed up. It took this young man, whoever he was, to
Mhm.
charge and say, look, I'm going to oppose these people. This is inhumane. Then the church showed up. And then they had a press, so-called open air press conference down with Gina Agustin and Gina Arcade, and a whole lot of them came out there, and they say a
Yeah,
lot
but why would you come out at that point in time to do what?
late and say a whole lot of nothing. And I'm not afraid to say it here. You know, somebody say, well, no, she was the first black person that do this, but then show up. Say it as it is.
Listen, if you are the first black person, take it from me, you are responsible to come out when things are there, whether you're still in office or you're out of office. Like I always say to you all, I was one of the first employment equity counselors for the province of Ontario, and equity is going to be my life issue.
Right.
So
But
I show up, I call, I make sure that people know that they have that presence.
because at the end of the day, when I saw the downtown conference and I saw them spoke, I heard them and I said, look at this, they're still not addressing the issue at hand. You're just talking way over the thing, not calling out the people who are responsible in a big way. I said, I don't have no problem not being invited to the dinners, to the pageantry, and nothing. If my people are suffering, I would be in the front line for it to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Stop
You're
it.
not there for kudos and when they're going to give you an accolades. That's why I tell people, when you give me accolades, what am I going to do? It's stick it up on top of a buffet or something, and then I have to end up turning around and dusting it off. Nobody calls me to tell me I'm coming to dust the things that we gave you. No.
You know, a lot of people might not agree with my method of my approach of saying what I'm saying, but I saying to all of them that it is high time we stop fancy footing our leadership. As
Yep.
if you're a black leader, be a black leader for the cause, for justice. Don't wait until somebody else take up the mantle that you didn't expect it to. From nowhere came up and say, hey, this is inhuman.
Mhm.
You can't treat human beings like that.
And then you jump up and say, oh, I am so and so.
Yes.
No.
That
You are not looking up. You are not your brother's keeper.
you came too late, 3 weeks too late.
Way too late. And it's not to say that they don't know. Listen to me. Everything you get to know when you walk those
Those
ways, when you walk on that line, it's you get to know everything. So guess what? This man must have ran at some point in time and realized what is going on, and he took the mantle.
Yes, and that's
And today I must say to him, I think it's Mr. Fatia is his name, but whoever you are, sir.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of GEM FM and Genesis Magazine,
Thank you.
a small organization doing better things and greater things for the community, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming to the assistance of my African descent people.
You know,
Because we have enough to do for the world, but yet still the world will take and still not say thank you.
yes.
Even among our very own.
Noticed,
Why couldn't they just come up and say, Mitzi Hunter, Alvin Curlin, all of these guys are retired.
yes, but listen
All
to
of
me.
you guys who went into politics, you did this, you did this, you did that. You have Charmaine Williams. She's down there now from Brampton. She was in Brampton. I think she's in provincial politics. Where
Until the last, until this brother came out and started taking charge, there was. I mean, look, we just had provincial Toronto mayor race, and a lot of them, the commissioner of police, what's his name?
Mr. Saunders.
Sanders. All of them wanted the mayor job.
No, listen to me. They have your phone number, they have the phone list, and they're calling everybody. They hope you'll vote for them.
Now was the time for them to stand up to show patriotism and the true cry and fight for Black people, and they did not show up. They failed.
No,
Fail. That
Yes.
only shows that they want to be counted at the nice pageantry in politics and not
Of
for
course.
the people.
Guess what? I bet if they have a big event happening downtown, you'll see all of them there.
Yeah,
Everybody gallerying themselves.
seen.
Please, you all need to stop.
Like I said before, my real leaders are not representing us.
You know, but you know, Brother John, even though people don't like Doug Ford, let me tell you, there was a time when his brother was really sick and he really came out to the Black community. He attended the churches asking for prayer for his brother. He showed up. But
know,
you know what? At the same time, there are things we have to say.
He
How is the interaction with our community and them? Because when you see those who are leaders not interacting with us, much
Doug,
more for them.
Doug Ford called on the federal government for the money from day one. He stepped up and called for the government to show up the money to help those people. He said, how could you dare bring people here and you don't accommodating them? He called out the federal government for it. Yes. And then Ms. Cho made a plea for help.
Our new mayor.
Yes, she made a call for help. She promised
Right.
help, and she did.
Thank
And
you, Olivia Chow.
put pressure on the federal government, both she and Doug Ford, to come up with $2 million. They didn't just happen because our black leaders show up on the street after 2 weeks later. They did it. They put the pressure on and called them up and say, look,
Yeah.
you can't bring people here and don't provide for them. Come up, show up, bring up the money.
Because come election time, you run out there and you ask me, vote for me, what you going to do for me? These are the things that show you exactly what they will do for you when they get into position. We need to get out that enslavement attitude that's embedded in our system out. So today I prayed out of you that you all will become human beings and show compassion on your own. Again, it's about time.
Mark Sanders,
Mark Sanders.
and all of those so-called black leaders who can't.
Yes, I call them up. Mitzi Hunter, all of them, every last one of you. Everybody, I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll do that. And guess what? If you cannot look after your own people, how could you do all the things that you say you will do?
That's why they couldn't win the election. You see who win it? Person who have people at heart. And ever since she and her husband had people at heart.
Yes, Jack Layton was one. Listen, I admire them from way back when. You know, I should have joined them way back then, because way back then I was asked to run for politics. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. What I'm saying now, I'm addressing the people. And God will bless Revival Time Assembly and all the brothers and sisters in Christ who come out of their ordinary.
I got a call from one of the lead coordinators on the refugee crisis, to participate in media coverage of the of the thing. So I send her back my information. So we should be linking up sometime soon. She asked me here. Good morning.
Good name?
Good morning. How are you? Good doing. I'm one of the lead coordinators for the transition of the asylum seekers in Canada. Would you love some airtime? I said, good morning. Yes, I am fine. Sure. I would like to have some airtime. I was planning to do a special with Dr. Justin Pierre. I appreciate your offer. Let me know when you're ready. Put me back here. Thank you so much. I am currently working on coordinating the needs of the asylum seekers. I will be doing some live fundraising campaign to assist the asylum seekers in the transition. I am also looking for people with radio and internet experience and expertise to help me out. When will it be good time? So I'm home today, so we could link up today. So you see that. So
what's her name?
The name of the organization. She one of the coordinators for the
And what is her name?
Sharon. Yeah.
Oh.
So she's working on doing some publicity stuff for that. And that's what I'm talking about. We need people who will make the cry and reach out to get this to work.
You have to.
And I said on Saturday, and I responded
But the Prime Minister was here on the weekend.
Yeah.
He's here for Kiddies Carnival.
Okay. So we have to be able to speak out in loud, aggressive tones, but not threatening, to let them.
Listen, you could be firm
Yes.
Be very firm, but humble. At the same time, you throw your point across really seriously. Hey, this is Daphne. Here, I don't think that you would do this to yourself, your mother, your grandmother, your children, or your grandchildren, or your brother's children. Why would you do it to us?
Right. And that's
We have made inroads. Go back historically and see who had helped the West to be where it is today. So why are we being left behind?
you know, the appalling thing about it is, Pastor Daphne, is that the other people, the Ukrainian are saying it, the Ukrainian came, and I met a lady, I went to transfer some money, and she was from Ukraine. She came here, she's here only 90 days. She has an apartment and she has a job. And she's planning to,
They get, there's a thing called priority.
She has,
you know that word priority?
Pastor Daphne, she's making an arrangement to go back to Ukraine to get married to come back here.
What do you mean? That is what I'm talking about. Remember when we had this big issue with the Middle East, and they sent a Canadian ship to bring back all these people from the Middle East. They were all they did, they come, they get their house, they get their place, and they took a plane and went back home and relaxing. And when the fire came under the bridge, we found out that they all went back home hanging out.
So we have to not give up so easily and not talk about those things, because at the end of the day, our people need to have better representation.
We need to have better methods of approach. Argumentation is not going to help you.
Yeah, I don't think that
you need to have serious discussions with people. It must have a lot of source in it. It has to have the meat. You have to realize, like I was just talking about the prison pipeline. What are you doing with the children? You close all the technical schools where all these kids could have been plumbers and all these other electricians and other things, and create a big backlog, at the garbage dump, and then want to know why they're not working. They're not working because the things that they could do beyond where they were are no longer there. And as a matter of fact, given time, you could always create a system with the legal system and the law, whereby which when they re-enter, they can be trained and given their become bonded employees. And so too many young people out there and have a source of income, but don't have them there and say they did this, they did this, that. If Carla Homolka could go and become a lawyer, so who are the kids our kids that went in the systems?
Pastor Daphne, the very nature of the system is not to have us at a high level of
no, because they redline you. They put all these barriers, unnecessary barriers in the banks and this. If you want a loan, you can't have this because you're this. No, like I had to tell one banking officer. I said, "Are you kidding me? It's me you're talking to. I was here long before you. I understand more than you do. You just learning the system and using your authority. That's all there is to it."
Privilege, white privilege is rampant. Institutionalized.
It's not even white privilege. It's just privilege. They come and they feel privilege, and they go to school and they get their privileges, and that's it. There was a program at UFT that Karen Braithwaite, she just passed away recently. I don't know if you knew her, but herself and Dr. Allen, those were the two people that had the Black students going to UFT from way back when. There's a TYP program, and you go in on the TYP program. Well, who's there now? Now you have a lot of other European people from Europe, Asia, and it's a whole different bag of wax. We got to get back on the train and let people realize, hey, you can't keep doing this.
I think, Professor Daphne, like some of our Black leadership are in too much of pageantry and too much of flair, not dealing with the real issues. I said it yesterday, if Dudley Laws was alive, that issue would have never reached that level.
Oh no, it would never escalate. It will never escalate. Before it even escalated, his mouth was going to be right where it's supposed to be. And he'll use $5 of his mouth and he will get $50 worth.
Yeah. because we don't have black leaders in our communities that really standing up in a big way out there anymore.
No, because everybody wants it to be from everybody wants an organization. Like I've been on a few platforms to see what they're talking about. I was on one a couple days ago. No, last night for 2 minutes with the girl from the States asked me, because my grandkids used to get their stuff every Saturday. Tamika is a mathematician and teaching maths to black kids, and one gentleman and there came on, and here's what he said. He has an organization, right? And he said, I said, do you what about the kids in prison? And you know what he wrote back to me? He says, oh, I am not an attorney. I said, that's where the problem is. I said, you are part of the big problem.
Maybe we are trying to go to prison to get help. There are a lot of people go to prison.
How foolish are you? Common sense.
You see, Pastor Daphne, and
the answer I gave him, I can't give it to you.
I keep going back to this. We do not have aggressive black leadership anymore. We have a whole set of people who are pacifying their way into leadership. They're afraid to speak up against
a whole bunch of wannabes. I want to be this and I want to be that and I want to be.
They're not doing it. They're not cutting it for us.
But they have it. You see, the thing about it, you have to realize, Brother John, we're in a time of technology, AI, and all the other things. So from the time you make a nice business card with a nice logo, this is me.
Yeah,
but that is not doing anything for me and my community.
We need boots on the ground. We need people on the ground, walking on the ground.
Who could get their heels in the mud and grease on the elbows.
Yeah, not social media and keyboard leadership. We don't need that. We need people who can take responsibility and run with it. People who have brooches
follow me. I have 10,000 followers. What you need 10,000 followers for? And you don't know who the first 5 are.
Yeah, they haven't met people. They're not on the ground. So that's the problem. We have to have leadership that on the ground. Leadership that is not remote. We don't want, you see, and I'm saying this to say, right? Because a lot of times we've been respectful and try to be nice to some of our black leaders who was the first in this and the first in this and first that, but it was not the first on the ground when the crisis hit this time.
No.
On the ground. They came in last.
And not only that, I did not hear about it until after the fact. I was like, what? It's when one of the girls that I worked with from young in what you call big sisters and stuff like that, she called me to tell me, Auntie, you know what's going on? And then I realized when I touched base to check with you, I realized you had just started talking about it yourself. So we have to do better than this out there. So,
I mean, I am willing to continually fight the good fight. Right? And I am not afraid to speak out anywhere in public. And like yesterday I was talking at the restaurant. And someone said me 4 years ago, she heard me said something. And she said, "But this guy don't squarely die. They kill him." I said, "No, I died already. I'm a resurrected soul." So you're not. If you kill that body, you're still not killing the spirit. So I'll still hunt you. So you're wasting your time.
Much better. I had to do like this, old people. Oh my God! Let me just find that one.
I'm a resurrected soul. You don't know what you do.
That's right. The resurrected Christ is living in you.
Exactly. I am not afraid of nobody. They could do what I am not.
Listen, they could kill the body, but not the soul.
I'm not afraid. I could speak out in loud, aggressive tones and being respectful at the same time. That's why I'm calling out the leaders who.
Yeah, you have to tell them, hey, what have you done for me lately?
That they are our leaders. You don't come up on a TV screen and afraid to say what and call out what it is.
You see, emancipation is coming. You'll see them and they'll have Zoom.
Oh yeah, they'll be all around.
The good things that are coming, you'll see them right there. But when it comes to saying, do you know what's happening in the community since you're gone? What have you put out lately? Let me tell you something. Our former leader of the House, provincial, one of our formers, they did a study, right? They wrote a study. I am yet to get a copy. He has retired quite a number of years, I'm still looking at the study. I say, can I see the study? I need to get a copy of it so I can go through it and see what the findings were. Even if it's 51 pages, you cannot take it out of the committee. Somebody in the committee needs to look at it so we can address things that they found in it. I'm still waiting for my copy.
Mm.
You understand? So I don't have time for when they're having the gala to tell me, oh, so-and-so was at the gala. That's all your business. It's not mine. Because standing and taking a picture that you're going to see on this media and that media is not important to me. Because guess what? I can take my own pictures and post it myself. And
I said, even from what I call I still have the revolutionary spirit in me. And I know, and I was saying this to my friend.
Hello. Didn't Jesus Christ?
There was a time.
Didn't Jesus Christ?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, he had that spirit in him. Because if he did not have that spirit in him, we would not have the spirit of God in us today.
When there was a time when people invited me to all the birthday parties, wedding, christening, all kinds of stuff. But because I stood up for righteousness,
yeah,
don't invite me to the stuff anymore. I say I'm fine with that. I have a good family. I have a good friend. The people who really love me, I'm still in their circle. You know, I'm not afraid to speak up and speak out again. And if I don't come to your birthday party or wedding, you're doing me a favor. I don't need to be being hypocrite, people. If you're hypocritical and you don't want to deal with it for the facts, the truth, then don't
invite me.
Don't invite me. And I refuse.
Because if you're going to talk about me this side of your mouth,
yes,
and then on the other side of your mouth, you're calling and say, oh, by the way, guess what, sweetie? Could you come to my anniversary?
No.
I'll think about it.
I refuse to go to a lot of stuff now because
and when you said, because you have to think about it, say, you know, these people are so bold that they will do these things and call you and invite you.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, Pastor,
if I go, you see, the reason why I don't go, Brother John, guess what? When I get to the thing, I might be saying, are you one of those who heard about me? Yep, you did. I know. But you don't know me. Sorry, you heard about me. Getting to know me is something else. That's what I tell people. You heard about me? That's good. I'm glad you heard about me because you really don't know who I am.
I mean, I am not prepared to be a
hypocrite.
To be a hypocrite, one, and not prepared to be pacified, to say, hey, I will pay you, you could have this session, but have it for a short period of time. Don't go X, like they did with Malcolm and with Martin Luther King, and give us some time to start and when to finish. Too much of our leaders have been pacified and threatened and not having the ability to speak out in the real terms that it should be speaking.
If I was them, I would make sure that I will take my conversation and put it down in 5 lines that they will never forget.
Too much
5 lines of history.
Too much leadership and people that does not be on the street. We need them. We need them out there. We need
them at the corners. We need them at the street corners. Yeah. We need them at the intersections. We need them on the highways at night.
Exactly. These are the people who have access to our government leadership. These are people, and they are not showing up on the streets to demonstrate. They discuss. They want to be pampered into leadership. They want to be pampered in politics, pampered to come in the good books. You know, so
pampered and diapered, Brother John.
And we can't afford that in this kind.
No, you passed that stage, so it's time for you to wake up and smell the coffee and do something.
Martin Luther King said it best. Now is not time for us to engage in the luxury of cool enough or take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Yeah? Yep. We cannot afford that. It costs us too much. Our people are hurting more and more every day.
Yeah, because it has the steps that has to be taken must be drastic. It's not pacifying anymore. Don't come and tell me you're going to give me $200,000. You know what? Our deputy prime minister got $61,000 or $91,000. 2 different times she got billions of dollars for the Ukrainians. Where is our money?
Exactly. So, and she's Ukrainian. Let me make that clear. She's Ukrainian. Okay? She is a Ukrainian minister.
She's on the soil that our forefathers and ancestors worked.
So all of these people come in, and you know something that really often happens. Look at Alvin Collins. When he won his seat, what he did, he didn't give him a parliamentary office, a ministerial post, the same thing Dominican Republic as an ambassador, taking
All right.
from the real issues. Gina Augustine won her seat, didn't give her a ministerial position. You see what they did there? So you could get in, but you can't sit at the table. Yeah?
Think about it. I don't want to come into parliament and not be able to put in my 2 cents for my people.
Exactly. They would put you sit down
But
and
guess what? You know what? I am so happy that they put the woman that they put in for the military, because guess what? They thought that she would be pacified, but guess what? She went there to chop them right down. So now they know.
So we have to have leaders that don't settle for stuff. You don't just put me. I think there was another black leader, I think in the Liberal Party, she's from Scarborough, I think was it Lindsay, what decided to speak out, the one before her, that she want a ministerial position. She doesn't want to be elected to sit down in the back bench.
No, you want to be an honorable minister, therefore you have a voice.
Yes. You don't win your seat to be put in the back bench. You win your seat to have a ministerial position.
How could you take a man who's running as an athlete and put him in a position that he hasn't been doing for any part of his life?
So when black people win elections, win the seats, they should be given, and the others start speaking up for those things. Given
An operational position where they can work for their communities, not just a token. We don't need to. We were never token representation, because if we were token representation, why you bring us all the way from Africa?
But again, besides that, we are not. They know who we are. They know the level of commitment and sacrifice that we could make. They know how black leadership works. They understand.
Because they're trying to use it under subservitude forever. No, it doesn't work like that. Those days are way gone and over.
People well know, they understand that when black people in leadership, the system is different.
Of course it is.
They understand that. They understand what black leadership means. It means a change of the overall system. They understand that black leadership is not going to mess around. They understand that black leadership is a force to reckon with. They understand all of that. Hence the reason why they don't want us in the system to lead. Because once you become one of the leaders in the system, the thing changes. And they would never have business as usual. And that's what they know. And that's what they're afraid of.
Guess what? They won't put us in the prison system, in judicial system, as much as they would like to, simply because they know very well, the truth of the matter, that there's a pipeline. People are paying money from places in the United States to keep an American prison in Canada. People don't even know all these damn stupid things that are taking place. Nonsense.
So all of this
gets me mad.
Have to be exposed and be spoken of, and we have to seriously address those things, because at the end of
they keep pushing the children. Why do you think the police is forever walking behind our children when they're outside on the road? Yeah. Because they have to get by the stripes, but by their stripes they are promoted, and their stripes is to make sure that they keep us from getting there, because they know who has the highest knowledge. Listen to me. We have 9 chromosomes, and guess what? Everybody else has 6.
But Pastor Daphne, all that being said, I saw a documentary the other day, and if I share it, they have a teacher, and they have 2 white kids in kindergarten, 2 black kids, and all the teacher attention was on the young black kid to see his aggressive nature, to label him as aggressive. Yeah. So that representation from kindergarten to primary to high school and to secondary school and college, that attitude, that thing that he might have done as a kid, following right through the system.
Yes, because they wanted to be on every single thing,
and force them out of the school system to go to become another statistics on the side.
But
yes?
Brother John, I was in Canada when little white kids do nonsense, the police will drop them home. Yeah. Have a talk with them in the police station and take them home. So suddenly now the black kids, we have the nation that's been sitting here from the time of the beginning almost of us being outside of the outside of the continent, brought up here. We didn't come ourselves, Remember, it's by a ship, the same ship that take those Irish people to Jamaica and other places.
Yeah, so we have to have leadership that take us beyond the slave ship now. We have to have this mentality of being in the leadership role and building communities and educating our people for ourselves. If they don't want to do it for us, we have to do it and create institutions that
We need to create our own community.
exactly. We can't wait for them to do it for us. We can't. We no longer shall we.
Because if you wait for them to do it, all they do is create, instead of creating communities, they'll create prisons and say they've done this, they've done this, they've done that. You know, and some of our people who are in the legal premise, they are just as brainwashed.
Well, you know, I heard an African potential leader who was scholared in New York and London, talking how African leaders are corrupt. And the people who taught him is the people who corrupt him to speak that way. Because in the lectures, in the halls, when they went to the white counterparts, one of them said, we can't afford for Africa to become a full-blown power. We have to make them feel that they are no good, feel that they're not significant, they're not important, make them feel right and corrupt the leaders. That is them.
And you know that's a problem. Look at the United States call the EU, and all of them jump on plane to come here. Why didn't you go and tell the president, hey, instead of all of us coming, why don't you come over?
Yeah, but you see, and that's the problem, because a lot of the leaders are threatened. I don't know if you ever watch Economic Hitman.
Oh yeah.
Hitmans make it plain that if we corrupt your leaders and you don't want to tow the land, we kill them. That's what.
And you know what they don't realize? They give you a little bit of money. How long does that money last?
To corrupt you. And if you don't tow, they kill you. Right? Right? 3 phases of corrupting and killing. The last phase is to invade you and to kill your leader. And the deal with
when you look at wars on the continent, it's 90% of them are wars that are waged through negotiations from the West and Europe.
They create all the fractures in Africa.
Exactly. The people running here, running there, and you know, guess what? You know who is the biggest enemy in the middle of all of that? It's the UN.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it was Nelson Mandela who said that they neglect, they bypass the UN because of black leadership he had at the time, Kofi Annan. They walk all over him and go into Iraq and Afghanistan. You see? So they don't respect black leadership. They feel they could do what they want. Who is these people anyways? We could just do what we want. We don't need them. You know, even though we put them in position of power, they just there as a figurehead. They're not
token representation.
Yeah, token representation. So we have to be able to.
And that is why I always tell people, I came from a unique race. There's no other race like mine.
Exactly. But we have to move beyond just talking about what race we are and show the power of the race.
That's right.
Black leadership is important. And not only in the school system, but in the home. When we educate our children, because when you educate your children at home, and the system brainwash them to believing and thinking that this is what they have here is the best thing. But we have to start educating our children.
Yeah, homeschooling.
Because if we do not do that, we could lose them to the system
and that's what the system is trying to do. Why do you think the system is the way it is?
It's not to educate the children. It's to condition them, to pacify them, to make them feel that we are one people. In essence, they're dividing you to conquer you.
Yep.
You understand?
Right. It's the same thing to do in enslavement, the divide and conquer.
If there's something, young black kids and young white kids do not understand color and separation. They are taught those things. Yes? Just leave it out of the equation. Let children be children.
Agreed.
You will be
children on the whole. Listen. Children on the whole, they don't understand racism. They don't know racism. It's only when it's taught to them and given examples that you are better than because your skin, and it's all on skin color.
Yeah,
you realize that it's on the color of your skin.
Look, Pastor Daphne, there are many people. I remember many years ago, my late wife was working as a babysitter, nanny, and she went to pick up one of the child, right? from the park. And one of the other young white kids saw her coming. And she called and said, "Look at your mom coming." He said, "This is not my mom. This is Belle." She said, "How do you know?" He said, "Oh, Belle have black hair, my mom have red hair. Not nobody's skin color." When that child went to school, she came back the first week in school. At the end of the week, she came and said to my wife, "You're black and my mom is white." You understand?
Yeah, because she went home and asked a question.
Well, in school, they taught them in school.
Taught them in school, yeah. Mhm.
Mom, no.
That's a game. That's a game.
Yeah. And do it. So that's the problem we have. Our society is teaching hatred, teaching
Of
separation.
course, that's what it's all about. That's what they do. That's the main function. If you look at everything that they do, they're not doing anything for the good of humanity. They're doing to have that separation until the final hour come and the window and the window close, and then they realize all this time they made mistakes.
I know we passed our time. I have this song I wanted to play for that gentleman that offer up himself to help the black.
Christopher Tia.
But yeah, this song is for him. I want to
Yes.
play it for him. It
Ooh,
goes
it's getting hot.
like us, people like
Yes.
you. Here it
Yep.
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
If you give a little more than you take,
Yep.
if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain,
Yes.
there's place for people like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak,
Mhm.
if you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way, there's a place
Mhm.
like you. I've heard up there the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your day's down here through, there's a place up there for people like you.
Hallelujah.
If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve, and if you try to be the change you wanna see,
Mm.
if you lay down your life for love so someone could be saved,
Mhm.
there's a place
Thank you.
like you.
Mm.
Where the streets are made of gold,
Oh, yes.
and when you get there, there's a hand to hold.
Mhm.
I believe when your day's down here through, there's a place up there for people like you.
Mm. Mm. The place. There is a place. Mhm. Mhm. There is a place.
Streets are made of gold,
Yes.
and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your day's down here all through here, there's a place up there for people like you.
Mm.
I know you're out there So keep doing what you do,
Mm.
'cause there's a place up there for people like you.
Yes, Lord. Whoa.
Mm.
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 Yes, brother. I feel it all the way down to my soul.
Many one people we are. That was Gramps Morgan. Yes, Morgan Heritage. People
Yeah.
like so Mr.
Praise people like you.
People like him,
Mr. Fatia.
Patria. These people like him who led the charge, who championed the cause without
Yes.
any accolades,
Yeah.
decided to take matters in his own hands.
Yes, yes, yes. Mm.
I mean, let me address this single-handedly. Mhm.
Mm. Yep.
That power that he demonstrates.
It
It-
show them up so badly. They don't even realize because they're so conditioned to do nonsense that they don't realize how it showed them up badly.
It's very it was embarrassing. It was
I'm telling you, if I'm a politician, I'd be hiding behind some garage or someplace because to see someone out there who is not even in politics, who is not, a businessman coming out to
Mhm.
put his hand in his pocket to bring restitution for people who are destitute in a land that they have no idea what the land is all about. A stranger come to your door.
stranger. It takes somebody from a different hue to stand up and say, "Hey, this is injustice. I'm gonna represent these people. I'm gonna take them in. I'm gonna take them across the Jordan. My
Never go to Jordan. They need a helping hand.
was the Moses. Where are our black leaders? Our black Moses
He was the man with the rod in his hand.
was the man. in the rock.
Aaron's rod.
Yes,
He was able to carry them over.
Jordan. And when I see people like that, I have to get him on my show one of these days. I have to get him
Oh,
because
yes, I was about to tell you, that this year when
Yeah.
you're doing your awards, make sure he's one of those awards for community awards.
oh yeah, the leader Kaiser award. He got to get that. I mean, there is humanity out there that looking at things and said they watch government do things and they're watching to see where they fail, how they could help
Yes.
up, because it is a government responsibility, right? If you invite people to come to your house, you don't lock the door and tell them sit in front. They'll call you in already. And say,
And guess what, Brother John? If it was another nation, all the media would carry it.
listen to me. It was even when they went to Afghanistan to bring the Afghanistan people here.
They had it minute by minute, ball by ball.
Yes, it takes City TV 24 hours on the bubble to bring awareness to this situation. All right.
All right. I wonder where they are today.
And today, if City TV did not do what they did, many of us would never heard of the situation downtown. So
All right.
CCTV, CB24, the props for that, because it was
Yeah.
all the way. And it took our black leaders almost a month to show up downtown because one man out of our race outside decided to champion a cause for our people. And this is the problem
Brother
we
John,
in our
you
society.
said that. You said that word. And all I hear in my spirit is out of the depths we cry unto God our Father, our Creator, for the injustices that's taking place with us around the world. Out of the depths. Out
And
of the depths, God. Out of the depths.
a lot of people, I watched a video the last time, and a professor said to one of the students, "Get out of my class, I don't want you in my class anymore, and don't come back."
Eh,
And he asked them why they did not say anything. So he asked the question, what is law?
mhm.
Law is to keep people civilized, keep them in check and do that. And they give a reason. One guy said law is about justice. And he said, what justice? He said, justice stand up for unrighteousness. He said, so I just come in the class, I tell the student, don't come back, don't ever come back in the class. And all of you sat here and said nothing. If you are,
Mhm.
you should be standing for justice.
That's right.
And here I've been unjust to one of your fellows.
Unjust served unjustly.
And you did
And
not
then
say.
and you stay quiet.
And that's the problem. Evil continues when good people stand up for nothing and says nothing.
That's right.
That's
That
when
is true.
evil continues. So as long as somebody stands up and says
Yeah.
justice that is happening in our community, it will continue because they go and they feel like they're on watch. Nobody watches them, nobody says nothing to them about it. Unless we start calling out our people who claim to be our leaders, call them out, put them on the hot seat, and say, we need you to stand up in a real way. Not
It's not even that. I would not even call them and tell them we need to. I say, I am so ashamed to know that you have been a leader of mine. And
Yeah.
when today you look at some of our people that are coming from the continent, we're all one people. It doesn't matter where we are, because guess what? Those of us that are in the West and should be even more progressive has been held back.
yeah.
And now others are coming here. You all had the opportunity to do something and you all didn't do anything. You just sat down there very complacent and says, well, you know what? I served my time and I've gotten my pension and I'm relaxing and I can go, attend emancipation, this and that and the other. Why are you going to these things when you can't represent me fully?
Exactly. I said Saturday.
That's why I tell them I don't go to the things. I don't care. The play could be $300 or $10,000. I wouldn't spend my money to go simply because I don't like to be in hypocrite company.
And I said it on August 1st. In my weekend, you will see them on the train. Yes, they will be on the train again this year.
Listen, hello. Let me just address that right now. I send a text message and I send a blurb of our program for the person that championed emancipation, and she knows that, Rosemary Sadler, and I told her to come on our program. I'm still waiting for her.
They won't come because they don't want to be.
No, because guess what? We're too lowly for them. But you know what? What they forget, there was times when they weren't up there with things. They would ask persons like myself, hey, if you get counsel and other things to go out and talk about, our heritage, I'll be willing and ready. It doesn't work like that. You already there, do what you're supposed to do right in every single corner. There are 4 corners.
Mm-hmm. Well,
A square. And the world is wrong. So you need to go all around and keep going around until it's done.
Pastor Daphne, has been a really privileged day today to be on your show with you this morning.
I am so excited to have you.
I am, because I was in the studio here because I just came in and I heard you and I said, wow, I got to get in on that because I sent you an invitation Saturday, but I don't think you got it.
I know you told me you were saying, I was looking for it. I have no idea. Probably it's probably sitting there, but you know what? I was so tired. I probably fell asleep. And by the time I got up, it was in the afternoon anyway. And then Minister Merle just came back in from the US. Okay. So I wasn't quite sure she could make it because guess what? She left her 2 phones back there. Went to wash her hands before she leave the house. No phone in her hand until she get here. She realized.
That's not good. All right.
So all she needs is a chip. But anyway, we have taken so much time. I am so privileged to have you alongside me today. I am really happy. Thank you so much. God bless you. At least you sound so much better.
Oh yeah.
So much greater. You look well. You look at a few weeks younger. The rest is always good. Yes. Instead of the beard get gray, it's getting black.
Actually, last week I had it gray and white, salt and pepper, and I had all gray, and then I'm all black today. So
you see,
walking it in and between, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, according to how you feel inside and outside.
I feel it that goes with my appearances. Yes.
Yes. When you reach the patriarch session, you put it white. When you get in the midst of things, you leave it salt and pepper. And then when you feel like, hey, let me stay down on this earth right now. Here am I.
And the audience will be around you. You have to show up your maturity. You know what I mean? So
yes.
To be all things to all men, but being in righteousness. You know.
Amen. Yeah. And that's right. We only have to live a righteous life. You know.
Yeah, I think I put a piece up this week. Somebody sent me a post that talks about a lady on her deathbed, saying that she had all these things. She had the limousine, she had the drivers, she had this. She traveled the world in jets, and now she lies in bed, and she kept those things mean nothing to her. But That's why that encourages me to write the piece I put. The debt only threatens on a person that is not accomplished and has not accomplished anything.
That's right.
So if I live a full life, I came here full and I die empty. I've poured out my life like a drink offering.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about that because I've delivered my package. I deliver.
Yes. You're purpose driven and you fulfill your purpose.
So what I do, what I leave behind is for my children trying to enjoy to their loved ones and friends. It's not
Yes. And to even and enhance it more.
Yes. And one of the things that I often hear preachers say and pulpit, it disturbs me, my spirit a lot. Oh, these rich people are only doing about money. But you always talk more about money than they talk about money. Rich people don't worry about money. They worry about living a good life. They want to go to the restaurant, they worry about money. They worry about the quality
So
of
then why get on the pulpit and say, how come you haven't been paying your tithes and offerings?
and the Bajan people already had to pay tithes and offering all the time.
You know what, Brother John, here's my analogy to that one. The way you treat the people in your congregation, you wouldn't even have to ask them for money.
You don't have to. You see, and
Because guess what? You treat them so well, with so much dignity, so much respect, so humbly, that guess what? That spirit of giving and God comes right into you, and you do it without even thinking.
Daphne,
Okay?
what is it, Daphne? Right? The school don't teach money management. They
No.
don't teach financial freedom. The church has an opportunity to teach its people financial well-being. Okay?
Exactly.
Imagine if 5 people in your church, just 5, become millionaires, and they gotta give you 10% of a million
Mhm.
every month. Huh? Do you think I have to beg for money?
No,
Beg to feed the hungry?
nope.
I mean, even though you get 1% of 5 million people, one
Mhm. 1%, that's all it needs.
that man cheerfully know he has a constant flow of $1 million every week. He could afford to give you
Listen,
$1
the interest of the million is that's what you're working with. The million hasn't been touched.
The church have to refocus their
Yeah.
method of teaching. There is not, let me tell you something. If you talk about don't teach prosperity in church, the Bible full of prosperity teaching. Jesus taught, and
Yeah.
example, 3 examples, real quick, right? And we use them in a way
Mhm.
that we should and we should not. One, we use the prodigal son as a
Yes.
son that lost and come back to save.
Right.
What that same son got an inheritance,
Yes. Uh-huh.
father, financial inheritance. He took that money. He didn't buy a donkey to transport people. He didn't buy a business.
Squandered it.
He didn't invest a penny. He spent all. He go broke and he come. And that's some church folks is just like that. They get money, they beg of money, get it, they get the inheritance from God. They're going to live lavishly. They never invest a cent. Watch this. Secondly, right over in Mark in Acts chapter 16, from 15 to 16,
Uh-huh.
go to the owner of the company and say, "Hey, Daphne, Bob is not running your business right. Something he's not managing it right. Because then
Right. Yeah, you're right. Uh-huh.
good. He said, the manager come and said, give me an account of my business. Yeah.
Exactly.
Give me an account of my business. He said one day now, I cannot dig. I cannot beg. I'm too proud. Nobody want me in my house. 3 things happening. 1, he has no skill.
Mm-hmm.
2, he's too proud to be begging if you don't have a job. 3, he tells you don't have a house, right? He'll be living on the property. 2, if you don't walk in, nobody wants you in their place. So he have.
All right.
He thought to himself, you know what? Let me go back and see who owns the company. He go to the first person. How do you owe me? He say 50. He say 100. He say give me 50. Go to how do you owe me? He say 100. Give me 80. He said collecting.
Yeah, because once you know the amount, you understand, you can negotiate.
What this now, Pastor Daphne? God, Jesus said to them, to the disciples, if you are not good at managing the unrighteous mammon,
How
who
could you?
will you with true riches? Yes?
Hallelujah.
Watch this. It get better. Jesus said to them, if you cannot manage other people's affairs, who will give you your own? Your father have it for you, but he can't give you, he can't trust you, because you're not managing.
To manage anything.
So God don't concern about your prayer. God will not give you what you pray for, but give you what you could manage.
Manage. And listen to me, the whole Bible is about management.
Management. From the beginning, what God said in the beginning, God had everything set up. The land was there, everything was there. He said, but I would not allow, in Genesis chapter 2, he said, I will not allow anything to grow out of the ground until there's a man.
You could manage a place.
Pray about it to manage it. When
Yes.
he brought Adam in the garden, I said, this I want you to manage. I want you to dress it. I want you to replenish it. I want you to be fruitful and to
From the
multiply.
beginning enough time, it was all about management. It's
Manage-
like you're training your child to be able to not cry when they're in the crib.
You understand? So when people say there's no prosperity in the Bible,
No prosperity. The Bible is about prosperity, but it's how you look at it.
the young rich ruler who came to Jesus and he said, all these things I have done. He did everything. And Jesus said, one thing thou lackest. Sell what you have and give to the poor and come and follow me. Now, this
Mhm.
missed the bigger picture. When the disciples questioned Jesus, he said, nobody have taken mother, father, land, property, and didn't get more now and the time to come.
Listen, Brother
Miss
John, management,
management.
all about management. How do you manage the money you put in the bank?
It's all
How do you manage the increase you get from the government?
management. You know something I tell people all the time, right? And I said it to my church board last time. And one of the things I said, I am not going to be tied in by number and nobody to know to say I paid this amount of money to judge me by how much I paid. If
No.
I give faithfully and cheerfully,
I agree.
God
I
will
agree.
that give cheerfully. There's no envelope to mark. There was no envelope marking to see who paid
With
who.
no name.
You understand?
Because you know what? The human spirit is very facetious, and our people we've been brought up to be facetious and to go back to the master and talk about one another.
Yes.
And that is where our problem is. We have a big mouth problem. And
So-
until we get the ears hearing and the eye gates going into it and learning to manage our own businesses and manage our mouth
What
and
you-
manage the way we walk, then we will prosper.
what you-
End of story.
What's it, Pastor Daphne? You don't stop there now. At the end of the year, they give you a tax receipt to reclaim from the government. So you, in essence, you give God in one hand, taking back in the other hand. You have not given.
That's so true.
Because if you're waiting for the end of the year to get the tax receipt to get back the money to give to the church in the year, you haven't given God anything to the ministry. The government is paying for you. So
Exactly.
I'm getting a tax receipt from the church. Okay, if I give it as unto God for the furtherance of the kingdom, not for the government to subsidize it. What church do realize the government is subsidizing the church by
Yes.
funding the people the money? The government will be in full control of your financing the church operation. That's
At
what
the
the
end of the day, that's how it works.
church people that come out of this whole looking for the tax receipt at the end of the year and say, look, I give it to the church and that's it. It stays right there. Not going, giving and waiting for the end to get it back from the government. Yeah, we're get rid of that.
No, is that you see? I'm facetious in the sense I was in it, so that's why so many of them want to become pastors at the end of the year. Anyway, let me leave. I drop off on that.
All right.
I call a spade and a fork a fork.
I'm gonna close with this song today.
But this was an awesome privilege, Brother John. I enjoyed the last time you got together was some months ago. I'm gonna put it on my calendar now. I'm going to manage the dates with you.
So I'm gonna close it 2 songs and back to back, and then
Send me that sound that you played, the first one.
I will
Send
say
it to me after, not now. Let me hear the next sound.
this one is for all of us,
Yes.
all the leaders who claim to be leaders. This is for you.
Amen.
This one called "Stand Up for Something." Stand up.
Yes. Otherwise, you will want for nothing. Yes. Stand up for something. Brother John Leno, you ever seen him?
You just stay like me.
Brother John, look up.
I'm the world over.
Oh, I think I met him the very first time for
You came.
Family Day.
Okay.
How are you?
Run and hide.
I'm
You
good.
in the family there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember you let me
Yes,
say
yes,
something.
yes. Okay.
For the family,
Family day is coming up.
One time, they know you will die from people dying every day, and you have nothing to say. Stand up for something, or you will die for stand up,
Stand up.
stand up,
Stand up for something or else you die for nothing.
die for nothing.
Mhm. Yes. For something or you die for nothing. That's so true. That is the truth. When is the what date is the picnic, Brother John?
on the 12th.
Black
On the
August 12th?
12th, yeah.
before you join the fight, you rather break the strike. Don't like the condition, so they fight in the election. Before you sympathize, you rather criticize. I tell you, stand up for something, or you will die for nothing. Corruption down with road, still you will vote. Why? Stand up for something, or you will die for nothing. Killing going on every day, you have nothing to say. Stand up, die for nothing. Stand up, stand up. Stand up for something, or you will die for nothing.
Yes, that's the truth.
You talking the talk, people walking the walk. You happy as ever to be a fence watcher. Life's a precious thing for you to be within. Stand up and play your part and play it from your heart. I said, stand up for something, or you will die for nothing. Get up, my friend, your life soon within. I tell you, stand up for something, or you will die for nothing. So your grandchildren too would be proud of you. I tell you, stand up for something, or you will die for nothing. Stand up, stand up,
Stand up, stand up.
stand up for something, or you will die for nothing.
Gotta stand up, yes. You gotta stand up. Praise the Lord. And so everybody out there, stand up, yes. Stand up for something. Stand up for your people. Stand up for your life. Stand up for your funds. Stand up for someone to stand up for you.
And this one called With Them.
Or with them.
With Them.
That's a good one. Where's Grenada Carnival?
Check out everything Begonian. All of them have the solution. How to run this Twin Island and get the people out of this jam. You take a chance and give them the work and realizing they was making joke. After months you start knowing it's only old talk you was getting because Jim know, Jack know, Harry know how to run the show. Paul know, Mac know till the country falling down. Oh, the country falling down. Oh, the country breaking down. You will see how the whole place tumbling down. And there's so much bright people.
There's one then.
So much bright people in just laughing.
Huh?
So much bright people in down and the country still falling down, yeah? This scholarship and they went away, they come back and they say they'll be a better day. And they come
Yes,
falling down.
they're really no better day. They're looking to see what they could get for their own selves.
Exactly.
Uh, there's no such thing as helping the others to rise up.
No.
We gotta stand up, people. We gotta stand up. We have to believe in it, know it, and do something about it. Don't sit down and say, well, I don't want them to hear my voice. It is your voice they need to hear, because if they don't hear your voice, how could you get attention?
Exactly.
After what you get to realize was only word in front of the eyes.
To tell the Prime Minister, get a petition going, Prime Minister Justin, we are not happy.
Falling down.
They have to do something. They have to do better than this.
What
I'm
are you gonna do? Believe you me.
complaining about the Liberal government, but the thing about the Conservative not even ready yet.
But please, we ain't going there with them.
They're ready. They're ready.
The conservative people, the older heads who are running out, all the sudden is how they could sell land to put money in their pocket. Money is going to become redundant soon. So while you're running with all this money, what are you going to do with it?
Doesn't make no sense.
When the market, the beast hit all, what is going to happen? The money have no value.
No value.
So stand up for something. Otherwise, you'll die for nothing.
For nothing.
Song said it.
Yes. All right, Pastor Daphne.
So yes, have a good one.
All right.
Nice. It was so wonderful. I enjoyed this.
All
I
right.
did double measure today. Wow.
All right. Let me.
Everybody, hi.
All
Prime
right.
Minister Taki and everybody. Later. Enjoy. Take care.
Some don't care if they win or lose.
Everybody wants to be boss.
No one wants to take order. Everybody wants to be leader. All man want top position to satisfy their own ambition. Not knowing in this world today, everybody have the part to play. Flo know, Mary know, Harry know how to run the show. But no, Gary knows till the country falling down low. Low, the country falling down low. The whole place breaking down. You wanna see how the country falling down, and so much bright people in town. Low, the country breaking down. All the phones are stumbling down. You wanna see how the place is stumbling down, and there's so much bright people in town. Low. If one really want to get through, one must know what one can do. Do what you have to do, I say, and leave the rest for someone to play. Don't go off on the ego trip, that would only rock the ship. And if you listen to what I say, tomorrow would be a better day. Lal know, Raj know, Harry know how to run the show. Ming know, Ling know, still the country falling down low. Low, the country falling down low. The whole place breaking down. You see how the country falling down, and so much bright people in town. Low, the country falling down low. I see how the fruits just stumbling down, and there's so much bright people in town.
Yes, this is Ma'am Doc Stellar and Dr. Leroy Khaleesi. Listen to Gem FM. I'm your host, the Sheriff. Yours truly, Jungle. Sitting with Pastor Daphne Gabriel on Community Dateline this morning. I had a little thing to do today, and just having to step in for a short moment. Well, the discussion was a good one, and I hope our Black leadership in the city of Toronto will take note, yes, and don't just be a fashionable leader, but really one that stands up for the people and represent them at all levels, not just at the dinner table, but on the streets as well. Looking forward to your response. Yes, let us talk leadership in our community. All right, not just when it fits you right, when you're getting all the accolades from the powers that be, but when the people need you most. That's what we need you to be, on the streets, in front of the cameras, in the community, walking the streets, doing the stuff that we need to get done, and lobbying at a high level for your people. That's what we needed to do, not when it's get pretty and you could dress pretty to represent. This is not what we want. We want true leadership from the ground up. All right, stand up for something. Yeah, we'll be falling down for nothing. With them, Black Stallion. I'm out of here, folks. Have a blessed day.